Welcome again everyone to another lesson, and in this next lesson let's go and talk about how we can go and add two buttons. One will be for canceling the sign up that will be redirecting us back to our main page here, and a submit button. So what we're going to use here is, instead of using the input tag and choosing the type attribute with a value of button, we will be using the button tag. Now, if we go through the documentation here, you would see that it will be allowing us to define a clickable button. And unlike the input element that will not be allowing us to nest elements inside of it, we can use and put text and tags like the I tag, strong tag, break tag, or the BR tag, the image tag, which is really not possible if we use the input element because this is a self-closing tag. One of the tips that were specified here is that we have to specify the type attribute for a button element to tell browsers what type of button it is, and we can easily style buttons with CSS. Now let's go back to our code editor here. Now what I want to do here is to go and create a div that will contain the button. So I'm going to call that button div, and let me go and put a comment here that this will be the button section, buttons section, and inside of that I would want to have two buttons. One will be for the cancel button that we'll use for redirecting back to our main page, and the other one will be for the submit button. Now if you remember, we need to specify an attribute button here, and here I would want to specify an attribute with the value of submit, and I want to give this a class of button div, and and the other one would be not class button div but button, let's have sign up, and here this will be cancel. So let's not use submit here but instead sign up. Okay, so we use the type submit here. If we go back to our browser, you would see that we have an attribute that states that we have the type attribute that we can give a value of button, reset, or submit. And if we go back here and if we refresh this, now we have a cancel button and a sign up button. Now the next thing that I want to do here is to go back to our code editor and then put our content here inside of our div container here. So let me just format this. Now what I want to do here is to just go and use a form container here, a form. Instead of container, I'm going to call this sign up, and here let's have a form button div. So at least we have the block, then we have the elements here, and we would know that they are related to one another and they are inside of a form container. Let me just go add here div 1 and here div 2. So at least we know that this is the div 1 and this is the div 2. This is just my preferred way of naming my classes, the block element modifier method. That will be all for now, everyone. In the next lesson, we will be talking about the section for checkbox, or how to use a checkbox inside of a form. So thank you and see you on our next lesson.